Hi there, I'm Haruka. A while ago, I made a video about gacha games and how FIFA Ultimate Team was possibly the worst gacha game ever made. You should check it out. That video was the most research I've ever done for a video and nobody's seen it. Anyway, since then, I've actually started getting into gacha games. I stopped playing Genshin after a while because my world level was way too high when I started Inazuma, and also I just didn't have the time to play anymore. But what I do have time for is mobile stuff for when I'm on the train to class. I've started playing Girl Cafe Gun, Arknights, Princess Connect, and Konosuba. After spending some extra time around gacha games, I think I've finally come to an understanding of what makes a good gacha game. And since I think FIFA Ultimate Team is so bad, I want to give you my outline for a better soccer gacha game. So, what does make a good gacha game? These are my opinions that I've developed after playing these games for at least 4 months now. Do have romantic options. While I might skip through most of the cutscenes nowadays, it's nice to at least know I can go back and find out what Juno was saying. Probably something about wanting to crack a cold one open with the boys. Do have multiple outfit options. Even if certain players aren't going to use more than just their favorite outfit, it does give users something to look forward to and work towards in certain cases. Do have an autoplay mode. To those who don't play gacha games, this sounds stupid, but just trust me on this, when you have to play the same mission over and over again, it hurts emotionally. Also, have a resource management system. So this is something very specific that I love about Arknights and GCG. Something I find fun, or at the very least something that keeps me opening up the game every 5 hours or so, is the base that I have to manage. It's not something as pressing or intensive as actually running a mission, but it's something that you can do every day that keeps the player engaged. Now, don't have gacha that you have to wait for. I tried out Girls Frontline, and the moment I found out that the gacha wasn't immediate and my only option was ordering a new girl from the factory, I was done. Arknights has 2 ways of acquiring characters, and while one of them is a waiting gacha, the other is immediate, and both are fairly accessible in a normal play of the game. Don't give the player too much stamina that they don't know what to do with it. When I first started playing both Princess Connect and Konosuba, I was just bombarded with an absolutely absurd amount of stamina to the point where I felt extremely self-conscious about not using all of it. I had 900 stamina every day in pre-Kone for over 2.5 months. When I run out of stamina, it's not the end of the world, but too much stamina gives me anxiety about whether I should use it or not. Don't have too many systems of currency. You can have the big ticket currency and the smaller currency, and that's really all you need. Arknight's token system is interesting and helpful at times, but it's annoying having so many storefronts that you have to check up on every time you check the store. And also, don't have characters that are too similar. We all know that there are simply too many sabers. Only true weebs can keep track of who all the sabers are. Each character needs to be distinct. And if you can't do that, then at least make the boring characters low level. There's gonna be some more that I mention as I go along, but these are the 8 ones that I wanted to mention here as what makes a good gacha game. So let's get into the gameplay. Here's some gameplay that I don't want. I don't want a card game. I hate it, they're dumb, and I grew up playing Madden, not Magic. Also, it takes away a lot of the tactics and puts it down to a numbers game. And I ain't never seen a number kick a football. I know it sounds wrong to say I don't want JRPG elements, but while this is definitely the way for some people, I'm just not a fan of the stand, wait your turn, and then hit type of play. Also, I don't want a tower defense game. This is more just that it doesn't work with the goal, which is a soccer game. Now, gameplay that may work, a tactic master game. This may look like a mix of card game and tower defense because that's kind of what it is. But what you're doing is setting a formation and a tactic and then letting the game run itself. It's very similar to Football Manager, which is probably the best sports management series ever made. The drawback is that it doesn't really provide any in-game gameplay. Then there's the joystick option. This option is something that I've seen a lot of other mobile sports games do, which is simply have a controller on the screen for the player to use. The soon-to-be releasing Pura Ore game seems to be using the same sort of system for hockey, and GCG uses it for shooting at zombies. The drawback is that I guess it's just not unique enough. Everybody does it. It's hard to really compete with that. I want our game to be fun and new. The final thing that I want to call is retro. So the other game that I've been playing on my phone all the time is called Retro Bowl. It is not a gacha game, and I am not sponsored. To prove that I'm not sponsored, here's a few quick bad things about it. You're randomly assigned to college and coached instead of actually building your character. The players lack character outside of random snippets and then the toxic players. Also, it costs too much in-game currency to actually get good coaches and retain players, so whatever. What I do love about it is that its engine is amazing. You simply pull back your finger to start the play develops in front of you as your finger's down, and then when you release, the ball comes out in the direction you're aiming. It's simple, and they've got a soccer version of the game available too. I just think it's really neat and an easy way to pass time. So which of these are we going to use? I think that we should use a mix of both the Tactical Master and the Retro. One of them is a test of tactical skill and the other is a test of gameplay skill, and both should be involved in the game. The difference is something similar to skip tickets. You're allowed to play a mission at a discount to your daily stamina if you simply set the lineup and tactics without playing yourself. That way you're unable to affect the match and the RNG will decide your fate based on how well your lineup matches up. This allows those who feel that they have the skills to get past tougher opponents the opportunity to test that skill, and those who want to simply progress through the game casually the opportunity to not focus too hard. Then we got story. So we need a story. In Ultimate Team, the goal is to take on other users, but I don't think it's that smart to make the sole mission of the game to be PvP. And simply playing for the sake of squad building wastes all the wonderful characters that we're going to make. I've seen some really dumb premises for a gacha game, especially a soccer gacha game, so let me take a crack at this. You start the game as a non-league team and work your way up to winning the Club World Cup. Now you may think that wouldn't take too long, but I have played this sort of thing in Football Manager a couple of times and it takes much longer than you think. Starting in the 6th tier of English soccer, even if you win every single game you play, you would end up having to play about 268 games to win the Premier League, and then you would need another season to win the Continental League, and then you have another season to win the Club World Cup. So there's two options for how we could have this story work. Have it be that you win every game, but we put the missions out piecemeal over the course of whatever we want the lifespan of this game to be, or have them actually play full seasons with a certain time span, maybe a month. Start them off in the 8th division, and then it's 10 months to reach the top of the mountain. It also means that there could still be daily side missions like friendlies or events like cup games. You're also working to keep your team profitable. With the amount of characters and cards, you'll end up with a surplus. So with your reserve cards, you can use them to work at various jobs around the grounds. They get boosts for things they're good at, whether that's concessions, tending the pitch, or running ticket sales, but you have to give them regular breaks as they're working. There's a cash currency earned through the stadium, and there's a gold currency earned through winning. The gold is for instant player recruitment, the cash is for waiting player recruitment. So let's talk about the players, let's talk about the characters. To start, I was a bit hesitant to talk about it this way because I don't want to sexualize women athletes because that's already how it is, they should not be sexualized. But then I remembered that this is a video game and they're not real people and they're characters that we're creating. And since it's a video game, we could put men and women on the same team in this game. And let's make sure we get enough waifus and husbandos. Yes, husbandos, I want Ariel Dajlopan in there. So this is where things get tricky when we're talking about the amount of characters there needs to be. You start out with your original 11 and then you have to get bigger than that. Using the English pyramid from the 6th tier up again as reference, that's 138 teams, each with 11 players at least. Then you're looking at possibly 1,518 unique players. That's too damn much. Actually, it's possible to do if we release it half a league at a time, but that would mean that the initial launch would be 110 players, which is still a lot. Arknights has a little over 150 operators total. Fate Go has 280 servants, half of them were limited to events. So let's take it in a different way and think of positions and tiers. Tiers from no stars to 5 stars with an overall power level that I'll talk about later. Make a pyramid of those and have there be more on the bottom than the top. That means 15 in that spot. Then take all the available positions in soccer. I'll call it like this. 1 type of goalkeeper, 5 types of defenders, 5 types of midfielders, 3 types of forwards. That means 210 characters, which is much more reasonable. In fact, instead of having more on the bottom, it could really just be 3 characters on each level. So with 210 characters, you give it a 2-to-1 split female versus male characters because we know who our audience is, 140 female characters and 70 male characters. And then of course the higher rated characters can have different outfits. Now let's get into romancing. You're not going to be able to make 210 characters romanceable, so let's cut back on that and say that you can only romance characters 4 stars and up. That makes it 28 characters, which is much less than what Princess Connect does. Okay, hi, editor Haruka here. I apparently have a battle between myself and writer Haruka because I have no clue where this 28 number came from. If you divide 210 by 28, you get 7.5, which is not even. So I have no clue how you got there. And then we also have a bunch of the other changes, which is that, you know, it's 224 characters now, and then like the dropping of some 5 stars and 2 stars. So let me just set this up that basically, so you have 2 5 stars and 2 4 stars. That makes it 60. That makes 60 romanceable characters. And if you take out the wingbacks, it's 56 romanceable characters. Then 1 5 star and 2 4 stars, which I thought might have been what I was doing there. Apparently not, because that's 45 characters, and you drop it down from the wingbacks, it's 42 characters. And then 3 5-stars and 3 4-stars, which is the worst possible scenario, it's 90. It is 90 romanceable characters. And that dropped down the wingbacks, it's 84 romanceable characters. I have no clue what happened here. I don't know where the number 28 came from, and this is all just a mess at this point. So you can understand how absolutely confused I am. And so what we're going to get to is cutscenes and the amount of cutscenes that are going to be. And so if we stick with the 2 and 2, which is my original suggestion, which is my new suggestion actually, you get 1120 cutscenes and then 560 cutscenes for the first half. And then you get, if you use the original pyramid scheme, that's 840 cutscenes. That's still a lot, a whole lot more than what I say is going to be. And that would be 420 with in the middle, if you only go halfway. And then 3 5-stars and 3 4-stars, that's 1680 cutscenes with 840 if you go halfway. So yeah, I don't know what's going on. These are the new numbers that I'm using. Conceptually, this is all sound. It's just that, you know, apparently I had difficulties with numbers. Let's just go back to the video. And on a 0 to 100 level system where you've got a cutscene at every interval of 5, that's 560 cutscenes to make. Well, we don't need to make all the high levels one right away, so that should buy us some time. In fact, just to make everyone work for it, you don't gain any companionship through playing matches. You gotta do other things. You're allowed 3 hangouts per day with whoever you choose. You can also set a captain who will also be the character on your main screen. They will gain companionship with you through that. There's also gifts you can give, and you can get a minuscule amount through training. That's right, I said training, because sometimes you want your no-star player to become a star for your team. I don't know, generic Chan is pretty cute, why not buff her out? Like in GCG, there's ways you can make them better through getting duplicates or adding items, but you can't level them up that easily. In order to level a character up, you need to pair them with a character in the same position with a higher star rating than them. For 5-star characters, you need to pair them with a 5-star, and while in training, you can't use either of the players in training until the time is up. Also, a specific rare item is required to upgrade a star level, thus capping the overall at whatever the highest is for the star level. As I said, this allows people who have a low-level waifu or husbando to buff them up so that they can become their star player. So that's about the bones of what I was thinking for a gacha game. I didn't really give any specifics because I don't have any. Also, I probably shouldn't have posted this because someone could just steal this idea. But if they do steal this idea and do it as well as I think it would, I'd still absolutely play it. Please don't steal this. Just tell me you're doing it and I'll help you with the development of story and characters. I have some waifu types that I need to have. Anyway, this video is sponsored by Lucky Cat Sticker Company. Go buy some damn stickers. Slap on your laptop, slap on your car, slap on your own damn face. I don't care. Go to luckycats.com and enter the code JOCK for 15% off. That's JOCK JOCK for 15% off at luckycats.com. Link in the description. Thank you.